Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with this channel and your support and resistance lines. Just to let you know, I'm not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use it to start an account and get 2 free stocks. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks, so if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content. Okay, so today is July 18th, 2021. It is a Sunday, so the market is closed, but let's see how the market finished up on Friday. You could see that the S&P 500 finished down 0.78%, okay, and the Dow finished down 0.64%, and the NASDAQ finished down 0.42%. So the best out of the 3 was the NASDAQ, but overall it was a red day in the market, and a lot of selling pressure came in this whole past week, and it ended up continuing on Friday into the close. Okay, so let's get into the stock I want to take a look at today. Today I'm going to go over Sofi Technologies, and currently Sofi is trading at $15.30. It closed the day at that price on Friday, and after hours it dropped another 20 cents, which was the equivalent of 1.31%. In after hours it is down, and on Friday it finished down 4.32%. Okay, so in the past week this stock has dropped 8.76%, which is the equivalent of about $1.45. In the past month it is down over 30%. Okay, so a big drop in the past month here. In the past 3 months, it's not, it's down around 6%, and in the past year, it is actually up still little over 37%. So we're still doing good if you bought in a year ago, but in the past couple months, if you got into this stock, you're not doing well, okay? And you could see from this chart, very volatile looking chart. It's not a pretty looking chart, and we're going to go over what's going on with this thing. Okay, so just looking at our chart here, you could see that this started off as a SPAC here around $10, and you saw a huge run up. Look at this green candle right here, and that was on January 7th of 2021, so earlier this year, and you had a big day here, up almost 60% that day, closing the day up, around 60%, and it continued going higher after that, for a couple weeks until you saw in the middle, right around here, the beginning of February is when it started to drop off. And it reached a 52-week high of $28.26. That was on February 1st of 2021. And, it did reach that intraday, but it did not close at that price. It closed around $25.75 that day. So that's going to be our resistance level here. We're going to want to get above around $25.84 here. That's where it opened. And we're going to need to see this thing get above there and close above that level to move to new highs here, okay, to retest this high right here. So you could see as we started falling, we had a little bit of support around the $22 mark, not much. You could see that was a little bit of resistance on the way up here, but not much. There's not much to go off on this chart because it hasn't really been listed for that long. You could see it just got listed or, came out as a SPAC in the beginning of December of 2020. So not much to go off here, okay? We only have around 7 months of trading in this thing. And that's why the chart probably looks so ugly. But you could see, we did have a little bit of resistance here at the $22 mark. And, we had a little bit of support on the way down, not much. But, we fell. And you could see here on the way up, it did not consolidate in this area right here. You could see this one big candle, like I said, that was a 60% day almost. And, when you see things like that, and there's no consolidation behind it, in that area, you're going to see this thing come back to this area and fill in these gaps that it left on the way up. So, it was no surprise that this thing went up to around almost $30 and then came straight back down almost immediately here within a couple weeks. So you could see that. And it did fill in this price point right here where this one big candle was, okay? But we did find some support here. We saw nice bounces off around $14.75 here. You saw a first bounce right there where, this thing dropped a lot. It dropped all the way down to around $13 here. And then the buyers just came in and grabbed this thing up. That's why you see these long wicks here on these candles in this area. That's where the price just drops and it gets oversold and the buyers come in and start buying it up. And you could see where this thing closed right there. Okay, so that was a nice recovery there. So every time it gets around this area of around $14.75, it looks like you're finding support and buyers are willing to pay that price. So every time it gets around that price, the buyers come in and they drive the price back up. And you could see right here, we had a nice bounce off of that support there around May 13th here. That was the worst of this correction here that we just recently went through in the NASDAQ. So you could see that really played a part in the downfall here. And this thing was stuck in a downtrend for a while there between February and May until it started to recover around the middle of May. We got back all the way up to, let's see here, a high of around $25. And that was on June 2nd. Okay, so we got a nice recovery, nice bounce off that support there. And then, we held up there for a little bit, tried to hold this support around 22, couldn't do it, and then we got into another downtrend, which we are just recently in. And that's why I said this past month, they're down over 30%. So that's a pretty big drop there. If you would have bought in around here, you're losing a lot of money, okay? But you could see this nice sharp downtrend that it's been in since recovering there. But we are getting close to the support line around $14.75. We're at $15.30 where we closed on Friday. So we're getting close to that area where the buyers start to come in and, they're willing to pay around $14.75 here. You could see that's been strong support. We have, a couple bounces here. Almost a bounce there, didn't quite make it to the line. We have a bounce here and a bounce there where it recovered nicely. Okay, so I don't see this thing falling below the support as it's proved to be strong support, in the past couple months during this correction. So it looks like it's on a little bit of an uptrend. As you can see, I've marked down with this green trend line here. As you can see, it started right around January, the beginning of January, and it's been on a little bit of an uptrend since then. So I would expect, as it's hitting this trend line right here, to close the day out on Friday. It just closed right around that trend line, even bouncing off there a little bit, and people started buying it up. You could see the wick on the bottom there, but that's a pretty ugly candle to close the day on Friday. But I am expecting maybe a bounce off this trend line here, maybe Monday and in going through next week. I should expect a nice bounce off this trend line, or if worse comes to worse, it might drop a little bit below this trend line and get scooped up once it hits that support line, okay? But if we break this support right here around 1475, that won't be a good sign for this stock, as the next support level is going to be around $12.80 there. Okay, so just watch out for that this coming week. See if it could hold this trend line and also the support rate below it. And as you can see, I did mark a downtrend line with this red trend line there. It's, hit off this a couple times. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. It's really not a confirmed trend line until you have at least 3 hits off there. We only have 2 right now, so we'll see what it does. If it does go back up and bounce off this trend line here, we'll see if it can do that. But we'll watch out for that, in the coming weeks here. But as you can see on my daily chart, the thing I wanted to point out is, ever since around the middle of June, when it started falling here, this thing has been like a falling knife trying to catch it. And you could see, most importantly, I have my 8-day moving average here in the white line. As you can see, I highlighted it right there. And that is acting as resistance right now. So we're going to need to get above that 8-day moving average, break through there, and hold. So just keep an eye on this 8-day moving average on the daily chart, because that's been strong resistance, since the middle of June here. Okay, so about a month, this thing has been acting as resistance. Every day, it looks like we get up to that 8-day moving average, and it just gets rejected off there. Okay, so that's very strong resistance. But right here, you can see it's starting to flatten out right there along this trend line. So we'll see this week if some buyers come in, push this thing above that 8-day moving average, and we could reclaim that and start an uptrend. Okay, so that's most importantly to watch. Let's switch over to our weekly chart, see what's going on over here. And as you can see, the strong support is very clear at $14.75 here. That's very clear on the weekly chart, and you could see the downtrend and the uptrend that it's been in. Okay, so not much going on the weekly chart here to see. As you can see, our moving averages aren't even really on there. Okay, they just appeared recently, some of them. We just have our 8-day to go off of, basically. So I'm just going to switch over to our 4-hour chart, see what we could find there. And as you can see on the 4-hour chart, looks like the 8-day moving average is also acting as resistance. So keep an eye on the 4-hour chart. And, also our 21-day moving average here in the light blue. And our 30-day is acting as resistance also. So we're going to need to get above all those to reclaim the bullish trend and hopefully move in an uptrend here. So just keep an eye on those moving averages. Like I said, most importantly, the 8-day in the white. I'm just going to switch back over to our daily chart, because that is acting as strong resistance here for the past month. So that's most important. That'll be the first step to going to flipping this and start moving in an uptrend, is to reclaim the 8-day moving averages. I'll be watching on Monday and Tuesday for a bounce off this trend line here. And, hopefully if it does bounce off that trend line, we will get above this 8-day moving average. Okay, so that's about it. That's all I got for this one. Not much to go off of with this chart. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any new videos, and have your notifications on also. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch the video, and I'll see you next time on Chart Stoppers.